Welcome to the May 22nd episode of BCA Today. I'm Hannah, and I'm bringing you the news today. In international news, there's been an outbreak of Ebola in countries such as the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda. The World Health Organization has concluded that the outbreak evolved from the Bundibugyo virus that is currently spreading in those two countries. As of May 16, 2026, 8 laboratory-confirmed cases, 246 suspected cases, and 80 suspected deaths have been reported in the Ituri province of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. They've been recorded across at least 3 health zones, included Bunia, Rwampara, and Mangwalu. In lighter news, the World Cup final halftime show is being performed by Madonna, Shakira, and BTS. The performance was announced by Chris Martin and various Sesame Street characters in a YouTube video. The global music stars will be sharing the stage as they attempt to raise $100 million for the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, an initiative to expand access to education and soccer worldwide. Now on to Mr. Lang with an interview with Ariela.
Last Thursday, members of BCA's Chamber and Concert Choir, Theater Academy, and Dance Club took part in the Song and a Dance concert. Those in choir performed songs, while those in theater performed dances, with the event also doubling as the final exam for all theater students taking dance classes. Here with us today is one of those students, senior Ariela Rozentul. Ariela, thank you. This is your final concert at BCA. Were there any emotions before, during, or after you performed?
Thank you so much for having me. I think the biggest emotion was definitely a feeling of bittersweetness because while it was our last performance, it was our last performance, and so we're really excited to graduate, but also it means that our time at BCA as performers has come to an end.
So your grade, the seniors, did a contemporary dance. Can you tell us a little bit more about the particulars of that performance?
Yeah, so our dance was the only dance that wasn't student choreographed or choreographed by Miss Edwards. It was actually taken directly from the Alvin Ailey Revelations performance, which is an annual performance by the very prestigious Alvin Ailey Dance Company in New York City. But we were able to make it our own because we included times when us as students we felt our lives were complicated, or we felt that some things have unfairness in our lives, and so we were able to turn that into dance and put that into our choreography and really personalize it for ourselves.
And other grades of theater students also perform their own group dances. Can you tell us a little bit about each one of those?
Yeah, so the freshmen always do a musical theater jazz number, and they did it to King of New York from Newsies. The sophomores did a tap number to a song by Ella Fitzgerald, and it was really cool to see all of their levels of advancements and everything throughout the song. And then the juniors did a hip-hop dance, which had a lot of different types of hip-hop in it, so like Jersey Club and house hip-hop, and the seniors made a cameo in the junior hip-hop dance as well.
Sounds great. Now you also got to choreograph and perform a tap duet with one of your friends. Last year also danced a tap solo. What makes you so fond of tap, and what was the process for making that dance like this year?
Tap was the first style of dance that I started doing. I think I was 2 or 3 when I started it, and it's kind of just stuck with me since I started doing dance. It's my favorite style of dance. I just have the most fun with it. And in terms of choreographing it, it's a bit different, like when you're doing a solo versus a duet. With the solo I did last year, it was really dependent on me and what I felt were the best steps for me, what I felt was most comfortable. And it was a bit different with the duet because me and my duet partner, Izzy, who's a junior in theater, we worked together to choreograph it. We choreographed basically the whole thing together. We locked ourselves in Mr. Kaplan's room, and we were just trying to figure out steps, trying to figure out things that we were both able to do, and it was a lot of fun.
Sounds like a great way to finish up. So I worked with you this year as part of Senior Experience, and I know you were at an internship that had nothing to do with theater, so I'm curious if you're planning to pursue dancing or choreographing any form after graduation, or maybe tell us what are the plans for the future?
Yeah, so I'm going to be attending New York University for neuroscience and liberal studies. And I definitely do plan to keep dancing, keep choreographing, because I'm going to stay in New York. I'm going to keep going to my dance studio. I'm going to keep taking tap classes and other dance classes. And I do want to join a dance ensemble and an acting ensemble at NYU.
Yeah, lots of opportunities there.
Yeah.
So finally, as a senior looking back, do you have any advice for underclassmen who will be performing or choreographing dances in the future? What words of wisdom do you have for them?
Confidence is key. Even if you don't have the most technically complicated dance, if you are really confident in yourself and you look excited, then everyone's going to love it But even if you have the most beautiful dance but you look unsure, people are going to be able to see that. So just be confident in yourself and your abilities.
Yeah, it's a great piece of advice. Thank you so much for being with us today. Now we're going to go back to Hannah for national news.
On Monday, May 18th, around noon, a shooting took place at San Diego's largest mosque, the ICSC. 3 people are reported dead. 2 suspects aged 17 and 18 were found dead with self-inflicted wounds. Announced on Monday, criminal charges have been filed against Now on to Mr. Lang for an interview with Miss Villanova.
So as the school year comes to an end, that means that our teachers that are going to be moving on to retirement are nearing the end of their careers here at BCA. So we thought we would interview a couple of them before the end of the year. And we have this week, joining us is Miss Donna Villanova from the English department. And with the years that you've been here, all of the guidance that you've provided, let's talk about some of those things. So you've taught at BCA for many years, but education was not the route you initially had in mind. So how did life end up bringing you to BCA?
I taught, I was a technical writer for many years of my life, and then I decided to start a family. So I had a son, and I thought teaching is the greatest way for me to have the same hours as my son. And it didn't work out that way, but I did go back to school and get my master's in teaching English, and ended up to have this wonderful career here, not expecting that at all. And teaching English here at BCA has just been so fulfilling that I'm so happy that those changes were made in my life.
And I forget, can I ask, how many years has it been?
26 and a half, 27 years.
Wow. So aside from teaching American literature, you're also a faculty advisor for LitMag, which is a big part of BCA. And everyone may not know a lot about LitMag, or they may have heard about it. Can you tell us a little bit about it and explain your role as the faculty advisor?
Yeah, LitMag has been around since before BCA here in this school, when it was Bergen County Technical Schools. I started to be the advisor at around 2003. And from that time, we have moved from just a one-time magazine a year to several issues in one year. And we've won several awards, first place awards for photography, first place awards for poetry, first place awards for magazine overall. And my job really is to give the students the opportunity to take over all the work that needs to be done. I just really oversee them, proofread the magazine, whatnot, and I'm very proud to say that through these past years, it's been all student run, and I'm very happy for that.
And you've also added the poetry night. Which is
Yes,
something
we
else
have
that
the
you
LitMag
so-
Music and Poetry Night once a year with food, baked ziti, pizza, salad, and all students can participate. They can sing, they can dance, they can have bands. We have bands playing, we have people reciting poetry, there's no tryouts, and it's a really fun night.
As you look back, can you share a memory or two that might be particularly special for you from your time here at BCA?
I have a lot of memories, but I think the biggest one is when I started to teach freshmen full-time. I really love the curriculum, and one of the books that they read is The Things They Carry, which is a Vietnam War novel. And that is very near and dear to my heart. My brother was in Vietnam. I know a lot about the history. And not only am I a English teacher, but I take it very seriously for students to understand the history of it. And I am not a history teacher, but the history is really important. And I know that most students in this school do not learn about the Vietnam War. I think that is probably the biggest memory I will keep with me in my heart for my students to study it and hopefully get something out of it for the rest of their lives.
And what will you miss most about working here or being here at BCA?
The students. I started at BCA. I didn't come from another district. And I can tell you that the students, for me, want to learn. And I find that very rewarding. I can't imagine being anywhere else where students may not want to take part in whatever assignment needs to be done. And that's what has kept me at BCA all these years. I'm going to find it hard to leave the students. That is the one thing that is near and dear.
So, you know, we know, talking to you, you're going to be retiring. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your post-BCA plans?
Yes. As some students know, I'm a musician. I've played piano and French horn for many years. I went to Juilliard. But I haven't really played in many years. As most of us in this school know, we don't have a lot of time, free time. So one of the things I will be doing is going back to playing the piano and French horn. And I really look forward to that. Reading books, that's another thing I don't have a lot of time for. And hopefully I will be able to spend my time doing that. I also will probably get some kind of part-time job, maybe adjuncting in a couple of colleges in my area in Essex County. And I have a lot of plans.
That's great. Well, we wish you nothing but the best for the future. Thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now back to Hannah for the local news.
A judge ruled that key evidence from Luigi Mangio's arrest, including a 3D printed gun and the notebook writings about the healthcare industry, will be allowed in the South.
Just hang on 1 second.
I can't.
Knicks play 2 games at home in the Eastern against taking a 2-0 lead over the Cavs. Game 1 was an up-and-down game, and the Knicks went from trailing 22 points in the 4th quarter to winning the game in overtime by Jalen Brunson being their leading scorer with 36 points. Last night, the Knicks won in Game 2 with the final score being 109-90. That's all for today. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Mr. Lang. Thank you very much for watching today's episode of BCA Today. Tune in again next week. Actually, next week we will be busy with senior capstones, but join us again in 2 weeks on June 5th. And in that time, make sure you visit Print Week June 2nd to June 4th. Thanks, everybody. Have a great holiday weekend. Bye.